Man, welcome back from the desk glow, man. I got the merch on too, man. I love it, man. Good self promotion, man. So welcome back from the desk glow, man. Man, I got to watch this artist come up, man. I remember the very first time I ever heard this artist. It was on a track called Haunted. It was off a 1982 by Termanology and Static Selector. And man, I ain't gonna front, man. When I seen the name UFO FEV, I'm like, oh, that's hard body right there. I fucks with UFO FEV. So when I actually got into this individual's projects throughout the years, man, I was like, man, this guy's having a hell of a 2020, man, having a three-peat, let's say, right here. So, man, I like to fairly welcome, man, the man himself. He's coming off fresh off the release with him and Big Ghost, the Ghost of Albizu. Man, I got my guy, UFO Fef. How you doing, my guy?
Thank you, Lo, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for having me, man. It's a pleasure, man. For real, for real. You
Man,
know
it's
how
a
I do.
pleasure to be talking to you, man. You were a hell of a popular guy for these last couple of years, man. I wanted to take it back to your humble beginnings, man. I was wondering, coming up in New York City, it's very different from Canada. So I was wondering, can you take me back to Thomas Jefferson housing?
Yeah, man. It was that's crazy, man. My neighborhood was like pretty it was a community, it's a project, so it's a bunch of us on top of each other, a building with 7 floors and
Damn.
4 apartments on each floor. So, it's like a community, and it was dope, man. Hip hop was thriving at that time. New York was different at this time, man. It was awesome. So, although it was rough and it's tough, like any other neighborhood making you that's facing adversity, because we poverty stricken, we broke people, we poor. We ain't nobody like um low, like growing up. I thought everybody was poor. Like I didn't know there was rich people because I was in the projects all my life. I ain't experienced nothing. I never got to go away or nothing. So like when I figured out like people had other like rich, I was like, oh man, like I went to Florida for the first time. My uncle had a house. It was like man, like
Man.
it was shell shocking to see like people had actual houses and stuff. Like
Yeah, coming from me, wow, that's really inspirational to
because I
see.
was ignorant, I was ignorant to the fact that there were other people living outside of the house. I thought everybody lived in public housing. In Spanish Harlem, man, we got like 24, 25 housing complexes. Everybody's on top of each other. So across the street from me is another housing. Across the street from Jefferson is Johnson. And
Okay.
if we go another block up, there's Wagner. We go to the left, there's Isaacs. There's Franklin. There's a bunch of housing around. So you're not the only one living in public housing. There's so many people. So you start to think everybody's poor. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much at that time, New York was a place where we were just community. And my grandmother was alive, God bless her soul. So growing up, I grew up in the house, under strict supervision.
Oh,
And
yes,
I'm
sir. I understand now.
yeah,
Yes,
you
sir.
know how that goes. We from that cloth of like, we had to be inside at a certain time.
You gotta
My
say
grandma.
yes, please, thank you.
Yes, sir. You couldn't get visitors in the house unless you asked.
Oh,
You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
sir. Yeah, the good
Yeah.
one. Yes, sir.
What's up, twin? And after that, that's pretty much what growing up, man. It was that kind of thing. Community, very community. Somebody would tell like people would tell my grandma they saw me somewhere. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. It was that, like, if I was somewhere I wasn't supposed to be, like, people would actually tell on you and kind of thing. So it was still community driven neighborhood. So that was how it was growing up.
Man, what I like about your upcoming, man, you come from a musical household, man. When you said that in a couple of your interviews, you said that your dad was in the legendary group TKA throughout your childhood, man, and then later on he's managing Black Rock. Like
Yes.
this is what hell of a story I was getting into. I was like, oh wow, this
Yeah,
is
man. I know. It's ill. It's ill. It's ill. It's dope, man, to look back. Like, I remember Rob being around. He's from my building, and him and my dad had a crazy history. My dad has a history within itself, and I was just there to witness it. And all I could do is like tell the stories of remembering Rob being before he actually was Black Rob. He was Bacardi Rob. You know what I'm
okay.
saying?
Here's some history right there for y'all.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't always Black Rob. He was Bacardi Rob. He was very much into basketball. He's a good basketball player.
I
You
did
know what I'm
not know
saying? He was
that. Okay.
good. And yeah, Rob was just unfortunately, he succumbed to a few vices.
Yeah.
And but that don't make him, man. I love him, and I remember him as always being a good dude, and funny.
Oh yes, sir. You can
Very,
tell like, outside the music, he's a very intelligent,
very
well-rounded
funny. Yeah,
individual.
very intelligent, and yeah, Rob is just a great guy, man. So my dad and Rob being around me growing up, you know, um, my first fight, Rob was there,
Oh
like my
wow,
first
jeez.
elementary school fight. Yeah, I never forget it. I fought one of the neighborhood bullies, and Rob and my dad were picking me up from school. And, Rob was like, "Nah, we going back." My dad,
I can see that,
so
yes, sir.
yeah, so that's I remember, man, and I love him for eternity. He's a good dude, man, for real.
It's crazy how like some things that go on in your life that you don't know that's inspirational at the time, but as you grow older, you start to realize like, wow, this was all around me at a very young age,
Yeah,
and that's why I think the music came out so well with you like over the years now too, because
thank
obviously
you, Lord.
oh yeah, you gotta keep it all the way but my guy, you should aspire right here, man.
Now, coming from you, that means a lot, man, because the Descalo, you pretty much one of the significant, hip hop journalism has gotten very lazy. And
I
it's people
noticed that,
like
yes,
you,
sir.
people keeping this shit alive that's doing the culture service. People like you that it doesn't matter what shade you are or where you from, the culture's in you. I could look at you and tell you appreciate hip hop, and there's people praising other people. And I'm not gonna use your platform to um
Oh
express.
no, it's all good. You can say whatever you want, my guy. It's your
But
platform
at the
too.
end of the day, man, there's people praising other people for their platform. At the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day, when we need people like you, you know what I'm saying? We need people to continue to produce new content that's uh, historical. So when people thrive back in the archives, they be like, "Man, I could go back to the desk below and see him interview such and such," and it was a knowledgeable interview. He did his thing. So, salute to you for keeping journalism, thriving and trying, man. No matter what, how many views, don't let that ever stop you, twin, from
Oh yes, sir.
doing
No,
your thing.
I hear you, sir. You know what? I appreciate those very kind words, man. Because coming up as a young journalist, man, you actually met this man. Man, I'm kind of man. This is a good story. I like to get into. I like how it kind of intertwines with this now too, man. Because coming up before any of this, I used to listen to Combat Jack episodes every single day. And I remember Combat Jack. I remember getting hyped when the new Combat Jack. I was like, oh, the new Combat. Okay, he was the one who put me
Me
on.
too, bro.
Yes,
Me
yeah, you
too,
know that.
word.
Okay, so
Yeah.
he put us on to a lot of artists early
Rest in
on.
peace to Reggie, man.
Rest
For
in
real,
peace
for
to
real,
Reggie
man.
Rose. So I gotta ask, man, when you did your show in ATL with Combat Jack, man. So I gotta ask, did he ever just came up to you like, yo, Fat man, I'm fucking with your shit, man.
Yo, man, I'm a damn low, man. It's emotional talking about him, man, cause I truly miss him. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, man. Like I truly miss him, man. Combat was like I didn't. I feel cheated. You know
I
what I'm
feel you,
saying?
man.
I feel cheated, man. Like I worked so hard to get Combat's attention, and when he finally gave it to me, he passed away.
Oh man, so this was like right near, man. Damn, man.
So like the week we did Atlanta, we did A3C, man. When we got back, he was fucking diagnosed with cancer.
Damn, man.
So from there, everything was like, so you know what I'm saying? I worked very hard to get on Combat's radar, and going to Atlanta, that shit was life changing, man, for real. Like Combat was that dude, man, and I miss him.
And like you can see like the impact that he had within journalism, man. Because it's like what you said, man. People will be so focused on the negativity. It's like, man, he's beefing of such. So let's get that story out of him. He really symbolized like the story of a one on one interview. Like I remember, like he I think like if he was here today, he would be loving what's going on with journalism now. You have platforms like Rap Radar, you have platforms like Matt Hoffer, man, even like some artists like the Royce and Lupe show, like artists take and Drink Champs, artists taking control of it, and they all credit to Combat. Even, you know, the bigger platform like Adam 22, these guys acknowledge Combat Jack. So it's just, you know, it's really heartbreaking to see that he can't see the impact that he had.
Man, God bless him, man. I miss him for real, low.
That would have been a fire interview, my guy, man. Combat Jack asking you, so you know, I'm make proud Combat. We're gonna give UFO Feb on of your name, man.
Yeah,
Give
yeah.
UFO
Nah,
Feb.
you know, I got him shouting me out. You know, we had our experience together, and I got him shouting me out, man. And shout out to A King. You know, I stay in touch with A King, and that's like the last remembrance of, you know, A King, Premium Pete. Those guys, they still talk to me, and I keep in touch with them, and they like pretty much my connection to Combat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I
Man.
work hard to get on their radar, so word.
And your premium internet's man, your internet's premium Pete man, he's still doing a stimulate there, and that's a good.
Yo, shout out to Just Blaze too, man. Shout out to Just Blaze. I hung out with him one night at the Playboy Club, man. Got to build with him on some just hanging out shit. Me and him by ourselves, man. It was amazing. T.I. performed and Just Blaze DJ, and I was in the DJ booth with Just Blaze while he was DJing for T.I., man. Believe it or not.
Damn.
At the Playboy Club, bro, downtown.
Damn. Okay.
Word, man. Shout out to Just Blaze. Because I told him the same thing. You know, I said, yo, I miss Combat. And, you know, I was excited when the new episodes was dropped from when they was on Complex. And I worked so hard, man, to get on their attention, to just get Combat to be like, yo, I know who this kid is. So when I finally got to do A3C in Atlanta, man, you know, I went with my cousin and my cameramans, both of my cameramen and my blood cousin, and we rode out and we flew out there and we got to perform with Jack Harlow, Westside Gun, Coco Sarai. The bill was full of like star-studded people now in 2020, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Jack Harlow is a star. Coco Sarai's with Dr. Dre. Westside Gun and Conway are superstars. UFO FEV, you know, I'm me, and it was like, man, Queens Universal, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, bro, so many artists was on that bill that like doing their thing, man. That like, I'm just blessed. I'm happy that happened, for real, and I'm just sad we lost them. But you know, moving forward, like I said, I appreciate people like you, Lo, for real, man.
Man, that's a really heartwarming story, man. Just to hear that, you know, you got that acknowledgement though by him. That must have meant everything right there, man. So
that shit meant everything, bro. When we flew back, I was on like cloud 9.
Oh, I bet, yeah. I don't blame you.
I'm doing the interview. I'll be right there. When we flew back from New York, that shit was like cloud 9. We was lit.
Man, don't blame me right there, man. I'll be lit all week, man.
Yeah, boy, I was zoned out, man. I definitely, you know, and win or lose, you know, for the viewers that want to go search it up on Instagram, on YouTube, man, win or lose, we got Combat Jack in the beginning of that. We shot that video out in ATL. That whole weekend was full of misunderstanding, and that's what made our bond tight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. And, like, I think, like, in 2020, man, he would look back on your legacy, because, like, this is what I like about you. You worked with, you have a full project with one of my past guests, man. He's a very humble individual, man. He does a lot of stuff with knowledge. He does a lot of stuff. He particularly my favorite record, Wrinkle Fellas, right there. That's my guy right there. Before you were UFO Feb, you went by Feb, and you have a project with Element back in 2014.
Shout out to Concrete Jungle, man. Element around my way.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Element in this very studio right here. We put the work in, man. And shout out to him, man. That was definitely a great experience working with him. I got superior love for him.
Man, he said you were very heartwarming too, man. You were very the hospitality was crazy with you, man. And you can see that you're a very humble individual, especially like in 2020. Do you go back and listen to music from back then? It's like, damn, you know, this was ahead of my time.
We was just doing what we knew, man. We was just in the studio smoking, and we just try to rhyme the hardest shit we had. You know, and at that time, people weren't making music like that. It was overlooked, so. Yes, you know, but we stood true, man. So, but again, shout out to Element, man. You know, I got unconditional love for him. He's a great dude.
Yeah, so one of the things that I like about you is that you never gave up within your lifestyle of hip hop. And the thing that I like about Fev is like the name. The name stuck right out to me the very first time. I'm like, UFO Fev. That is hard, buddy. So when I did my research on you, I understand you went by FEV, Young FEV. When did the UFO FEV came on, and what books were you reading around that time? Because I understand you were reading a lot during that time when coming
Well,
up with.
what is you know that's Fab is pronounced. It was originally Fee. It's Fee.
Oh, FEV, yes, sir.
Black Rob.
My
Yeah,
bad,
Black.
FEV, yes, sir.
No, all good. So that's where it comes from. It's short for fever because Black Rob initially, told me that he heard I had a little fever. He was like, I heard you got a fever out here. Because I was hiding the fact that I was rhyming. I wasn't telling anyone. So the fever comes from my interaction with Black Rob. And then the UFO, Behold the Pale Horse,
Yes.
1984, um, Fahrenheit 451,
Okay.
The Old Man in the Sea. I was just reading a lot of stuff, man, and the UFO just came from the 5% Nation. I was studying the math of the 120, and I wasn't necessarily a 5%er, but in adapting a name, I wanted to adapt a name that represented me, and the UFO was like being Latino. The way I was rhyming, it wasn't necessarily cool at the time. Like you said, around my way, me and Element were doing stuff. So I was just Feeve at that moment, and I was like, yo, we doing stuff that like my studies was showing me that like UFO, I was just different, and the fact that nobody would ever really acknowledge me. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody knew who I was, but people really wouldn't like want to acknowledge me. So it felt like I was like hidden in plain sight, like a spaceship. Like,
Oh, I know what you mean. So it's like, it's like you be releasing this fire material, but they be overlooking it. It's like, man,
yeah, because it'd be like
deep.
them situations where like if you be in like not you necessarily low, but
No,
like
I'm
somebody would be in the room who knows me, who's known me, that won't act like they know me, and somebody else be like, yo, you know Feeve, and they be like, oh yeah, I've known Feeve for yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like hidden in plain sight. Like people don't acknowledge it until other people say they, you know what I'm saying? So like for me, it's always been like that.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like even if you go to the interviews with Joe, be like, yo, Axe Rosenberg, UFO Feed. They be like, oh yeah, I've been playing UFO joint for
Yeah.
everybody act like they know me for forever. You know what I'm saying? Until somebody else says it. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
No shots or not.
No. I understand where you're coming
It's
from.
pretty much a representation of who I am. Like most people know who I am, but won't acknowledge it in plain sight. You know what I'm saying?
See, there's a meaning behind a stage name like a UFO thief, man. Because like you could just be like, I just like it, man. I just like it, just the way it sounded, right? But like the way that you broke it down, it would give more appreciation. I already appreciated your art, but I give more appreciation for your art now too. Because what I like to say is now like the three-peat that you're having right now, man. Like this is crazy the type of year you're having, man. Like to see you, to see you work with Static Selector and Termanology, and then you have projects produced by them. But the very first time that most I ever heard of you, you appeared on the song. So you worked with these projects individually. It's like wow, that's really inspirational right there. So before we get into that, I was wondering, can you take me back to the day you joined Twitter?
Um,
Back, because I see it was like 2009. I'm like, well,
yeah,
you got the experience.
yeah. I
Like
had a job,
Twitter.
man. I had a job. Yeah, I had a job, man, working for a medical office and stuff. And I remember being like at the desk, and I was surrounded by women and stuff.
And
And
all right,
yeah, in the medical field, they found out about Twitter first, and I joined it, messing around in at work, and then I started taking music seriously, and then from there I started learning about it. Because at first, nobody knew what Twitter was, so it was like
yeah.
everybody making jokes, and it was like a fun place. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's been a little minute though, for real. I remember I wasn't really taking it. It wasn't too much artistry to it at first. It was like a place to hang out.
No, I understand that. Your Twitter back in 2009 to 2011, Twitter was a wild place, man. You see some crazy things back then. It died down because a lot of people left to go to Instagram or TikTok.
That's a fact.
But man, if you got to experience that Twitter day, man, shout out to Hex Murder. Hex Murder was a crazy man on Twitter back then.
Shout out, man. Word.
Man, so I have to ask, man. So you coming from having from the same way that Fat Joe found Big Pun, in the same way that you met Fat Joe, man, is it true that you met Fat Joe on one of the coldest days in November at his store called Up? And you came there with cameras, you shooting a little documentaries. Is that actually true?
That's absolutely true, man. I pulled up with my cameraman. He's in the studio right now, Cousin Hill, because I didn't want to lose the opportunity to film it. You know, I
Oh,
didn't
I
know
don't
what it was
blame
going
you.
to be. But Joe was like, yo, no cameras. You know what I'm saying? Like, Joe was really like being Fat Joe at that moment, you know, and we built for like 2 hours. We talked for like 2 hours. And I remember during me and him talking on a sofa similar to like this one, he's on this side and I'm on this side. We talking and my Hill takes a photo and Crack stops mid sentence like, yo, um, no photos, man, because I don't know if I'm gonna fuck with y'all yet.
Oh, oh, dude. They
That's
keep it
exactly
100
what he
though.
said to him. So we was like, so my man was like, all right, say no more. And we just kept talking. And then after he was like, yo, I got love for y'all. You know, I'll mess with y'all. And, we caught some photos and stuff of the day. But yeah, man, when we first met, he was being Fat Joe for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, and just to see like to hear that story, to see you rocking the stage. I checked that Rafe that when you did that at Urban Plaza Live, to see him like on stage with you, I'm like, man, like that really shows that anything is possible just by having the right intentions and just be like, listen, man, like I acknowledge you for the OG, man, and for him to like do records with you, like I bet that meant the
Yeah, because
world
I
to.
didn't know him all my life, man. Like, I'm not like, you know, like Joe don't owe me nothing. I didn't know him all my life. So, like, the stuff we do together and all that stuff is like, I earned my respect from him. You know, I earned the opportunity to be with him and to make the music we make. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I just met him in 2016. You know what I'm saying? And although we got ties that go beyond music, I personally and him were never connected.
Yeah.
So the fact that we work together and the fact that we go on the road and all that stuff, that's a privilege and an honor that I've earned. And I respect him and I love him for that. That's unconditional because he didn't have to give me the opportunity to pay me to do anything or to give me verses. Like in 2020 during COVID, there's no other artist that got any Fat Joe verses with UFO feed.
Facts. That's
So if you
big
go back
facts.
to history, like if you check history and time, like when you listen to Fentanyl Floor, the Ghost Albizu, you hear Fat Joe. That's the only time you heard him in 2020.
I was gonna bring that up down too, like, cause and you didn't bring him on the club. Like, most people would know, say Fat Joe lead back. I was like, nah, man, Joe gets busy, man.
Yeah, we did that. We did that real hip hop.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about it. I'm like, oh, see when people they would see like the track like Rafe out hearing it, they'd be like, oh, that's a club band. I'm like, no, man, you gotta listen to that, man. That's a hot body right there.
It's knocking.
And like to have like Fat Joe and Ken Jones on that type of track, man, it shows that the hip hop is at an all time high now too. So I gotta ask. I think you're the very. I could be wrong though. My bad though. I think you're the very first artist to have a full on project produced by Termanology.
Very first, you heard the one and only.
Oh,
That's it.
woo! Okay. See, this is what I like about artists producing for other artists because they get that other artist's sound. They're like, oh, I think of FEV when I made of this. So I bet you know how Rock Marciano did the Stove God Cooks for Reasonable Drought. Man,
Yes, sir.
the type of feeling I got from you and Termanology. Shout out to Termanology, one of my very first guests, man. Salute Termanology right there.
Shout out to Term.
Man, y'all really did your thing on that project right there. So I was gonna ask, like, how did these projects come about with you and Static Selector and Termanology? Like, and which one came first? Did the Static Selector one was finished first, and then the Termanology one, or was like the Termanology one was finished first, but you decided to wait? This is what I love about hearing the
The
creation process.
Termanology joint was Fresh Air was finished first.
Okay.
The Termanology joint we was working on. So Fresh Termanology joint we started first and we finished last. Fresh Air I started after and I finished first. Cause
Ooh.
Static works a lot faster and me and Term were trying to really, because it was like Term's first full body, so I was trying to
Yeah.
represent him properly as well. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, you did.
you
Oh,
know,
you did.
getting styles in the last few tracks, it took a little bit of time, but yeah, Term's joint was finished after Fresh Air.
Damn. Okay. And
And those projects, like to answer your first question, those projects came about through Term. You know,
oh,
Term introduced me to Static, and Term brought the beats to me. Like, yo, I'm producing, and I felt it like him introducing me to Static. Like, I wanted to work with him as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, it felt right to have a project with both of them.
yeah. And like to you, to even like work with them on still 1982, and then to have for 2 years later, it's like, damn, that's.
Yeah,
I love seeing that. Um,
yeah.
so one of your things I like about your music, it's very cinematic, very cinematic, man. Man, I gotta say that you really outdid yourself on this project of you and Big Ghost, man. I was bumping that today. I was like, yo, have you ever seen the movie 3,000 Miles to Graceland?
3,000 Miles to Graceland?
Yes, have you ever seen that movie?
Um, no, I don't want to say I have. Maybe, but I don't want to say I have.
Okay, so it's a casino robbing movie based on the Elvis era, right? So when I listen to Trinidad and Charmino track of Jose Santiago, if they remade that movie with a hip hop theme instead of the Elvis theme, that would be the opening scene in that song right there. That's the vibe
That's
it does for
amazing,
us,
Lo.
man. And like, yo, so I gotta ask because nobody knows what Big Ghost look like. What's the feeling, or even getting the call saying like, yo, Big Ghost want to do a project with you, man? Because that's you don't do projects with just anyone.
Yeah, man, it took a little time. We took a little time to get it done, man, because he works a lot. So, you know, I had just finished Fresh Air, and I was bugging him, like, because we had spoke, and I was bugging him, and I guilted him, like, yo, I know if you don't want to work with me, it's all good. And he was like, yo,
Yeah.
T, trust me, I got you, man. Like, so he had sent me, like, a batch, and it's the project that you hear. Like, they with no leftovers or nothing. Like, everything was laid out, and I was like, damn, this is crazy. So I was so excited to do the project with him that I wrote the songs and like, what's up, T? You good? Thank you, man. Yeah, that's my boy. For real. That's right, man. That's blessed, man. Respect, bro.
Okay, Pablo, man, I appreciate that. I like to see that.
So yeah, where was I? Yeah, Twin the Ghost joint. We were he sent me the beats when I was so excited that he sent them after the time of trying to like guilt them into sending them.
Yeah.
And I wrote the songs all like, you know, that I just zoned out, wrote the songs like right away. So it was like 2 weeks. I had like 2 sessions. I try to have at least one session, a long session within a week. So it was like 2 sessions. I separated and I just recorded everything. I sent them everything. I got Nems to come in. You know, and Nems takes a long time, man. He's one of those particular artists. So I got him to lay a verse. And that's pretty much my man Red that's on Danger. He's in the booth right now working on his stuff. I got him to lay a verse. Zandra K and Jose Santiago are down with me. So they always with me in the lab all the time. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm always throwing them on. They always on every project. So when I had the stuff, Jose laid the hook with no problem, and Zandra, she jumped in with no problem. I just let them hear it, and he knocked it out. And then the features on Demigods, that was Ghost. You know, Ghost
Oh,
pretty much quarterbacked that play, yeah.
okay. Because the way
But we were working on it for like a year and a half, pretty much, twin.
wow, a year and a half. Wow.
Yeah, man.
So to see it come out during his run in 2022, because he started out the year with a bang now too, and this like adds on to like the run now too. What I like about it is like the art matches the music now too, because when you see those art, it's like whoa, now that is one hell of an artwork right there. The Ghost of Albizu. So I have to ask, when crafting this album, what made you want to title it that?
What made us want to do the Albizu thing?
Or what made you want to use the title?
Um, Damn, man, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you, Lo. I wish I still had the tweet. It was a fan, man.
Okay.
It was a comment on, I don't know if it was Ghost page or my page, but somebody commented and tagged me and Ghost that we should do a project called the Ghost of Albizu.
I was like, yo, I like to rent that now too, cause like the way
Yo,
that.
it was a comment, a random comment, bro. And me and Ghost jumped in the DM. Ghost jumped in my DM. I was like, yo, look at this comment. He's like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I like that too because like it fits both of you guys' persona because the way that he described it, it was like the underground's version of a Purple Rain and Thriller. And when I hear like the Trinidad track, I was like, yo, like this right here, you don't get these kind of albums anymore. This is like a, even though it's 10 songs, it's a complete body of work because it takes you on an experience and you don't really expect to go on this experience, man. Like the first single, Box Cutter Jiu-Jitsu, like that's one hell of a name for a song, yo.
Yeah, those are the name of the how Ghost send the beats.
Oh, oh, I see. So because Batusa's because when they finish the beat, they name it on when they beat. Oh, I like how you kept
Yeah,
that. Yeah, that's harder. That was
and I just keep that's usually how I title the track. If a producer sends it with a title, I usually keep that.
yeah. Okay, I like that now too. And like even with you, with like, you're well aware of the Walkers, man. You got like a Walkers cut on there with like a little bit of the cloth on there, and like how you said that was Big Ghost because the Demigods track. I was like, yo, does the posse cuts? Yo, he does like A1
Yeah,
posse cuts.
we talked and he asked me, if I was cool with the names he threw out, and I threw out a few names, and then we circled the back and we pretty much narrowed it down to the guys we got, and it came out amazing for real.
Yeah, and like I like what that's what I like to see is like you're not afraid to collaborate with other artists, even like with your artists from High Enterprise. Like you put people on, and that's what we need more because you never know. Like that was the very first time I ever heard Jose San. No, I heard him on Fresh Air. But when I heard him on that Ghost project, I was like, yo,
He
man.
got busy, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
flexed his wing. You know what's crazy, Low, is I was with him the other day and he forgot he had did that.
Oh, yeah,
So I'm
what?
letting him hear the album, so when the song comes on, he's just listening.
Okay.
And when his vocals come on, he looks at me like, and me and some other dude that were together, we laughing because I told other dude like, yo, he don't even remember. He don't even remember he did that.
Man, he can actually. How can you not remember laying down the fire ass course like that?
That's how he is, man. That's how he is, man. He's like that, man. He's artistic for real.
So, like, even with did Big Ghost do the cover for this too?
Yes, sir. Hand painted.
I was gonna say, yo, this, okay, right there. I was see this right here. This is a work of art right here, right? This isn't no digital.
This is a real picture of me by Cousin Hill. This was me sitting in the lawn chair, and Ghost took it and pretty much put the crown on it. You know, you got the Albizu Campos right here. We got the ghosts all around us. And, you know, the significance of the spiritual stuff, and the Puerto Rican flag with the hands. You know, hand painted by the hands of Zeus.
Yes, sir. That's why I like that. So the hands of Zeus on it because it's actually hand painted right there. See, being Puerto Rican now too, and having fat ties to Joe, man, I bet you that gives you like a lot more confidence, right? Because you know, like what he did with Big Pun, and then to see like to you, like, cause like that's what I like about you. Even though that you have a great buzz going on, you're not gonna be like, all right, Club Banger, let's go. And it's like you dropped the ghost of Abazulu, man, and that I keep
We still sticking to the plan. We still sticking to the plan, man. We sticking to the plan. That is. I'm walking into the lab right now. Low, see what's going on. Look, we got Red Inf right there.
Salute.
On the desk of Low, he's on this next single, Danger. The video's coming out.
Oh, so you did that? Okay, yeah, you killed that. Okay.
Yeah, this is New Vegas, man. He shoots all the videos. That's New Vegas.
So
he did the box cutter jiu-jitsu video.
Sir.
You know what I'm saying? This is Cousin Hill. He shot this picture. That's me with the crown right here. He shot that.
Okay.
Which allowed go to, you know what I'm saying? This picture of me, that's him. He shot that right there.
That's good. So
you know what I'm saying? My engineer Drew, he makes everything sound good. This is my engineer Drew.
Salute.
My proprietor of this establishment. That's my cousin Lungs right there.
Salute.
You know, he's always got the good weed.
Yes. Yes.
That's my man Joel right there.
Salute, y'all.
We in the lab. This is what it is right here, twin.
I was gonna say, I can see the smoke in the background too a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, so like I like that you even with your collaboration of Nebs, like this box kind of like you understand the power of visuals compared to like having a record like that because you could have made like any record your first record, but like, yo, I'm gonna put my man Nims on the first single for that, and actually shoot the video for that. And I was like, yo, man.
Yeah, because that's my heart, man. I love Mims. I got super love for him, man. I was anxious to, we both wanted to be seen together. A lot of people don't know that we got the relationship like that. So, it was only right I shot the video for that.
So when you're making a full body of work, what's it like hearing it incomplete, knowing like the full 24 hours before it comes out? What's that feeling like, knowing like I'm about to let this go?
Um, it's a bunch of feelings, man, but it's a great one once it's out because people get to experience it, and that's what we work so hard for, is for people to take the album. And, being blessed to work with Big Ghost, someone who's very meticulous and on point with what he does, it's just a blessing, man. You know what I'm saying? I was hoping that people would accept it, and they are. That's pretty much what we asked for.
Man, and there the vinyl sold out, man. The vinyl came out beautiful, and even the splatter. I like how the splatter one matches.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes sold out.
Damn. And you know those resellers, man, those fucking resellers, man, be going. I hope they don't break our pockets, man. I like to get a piece of that, man. But
yeah, man, you gotta show love, please, man. Show my man love, please, because that joint sold out in 10 minutes. Ghost said he, I'm just blessed, man. Shout out to the Big Ghost, man. We did it. You know what I'm saying?
So knowing that you do really, I like your projects when you work one on one with a producer. Even your things of J, is it J Backpacks? Is that what his name is? I may.
Backpack Beats and J Hart. They both.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Inigres is with J Hart, and Basic Instructions and Camouflage are both with Backpack. Young man from Tallahassee. And J Hart is from France, man, for real.
Oh wow, okay, so you're expanding for that overseas sound. Yo, they must fuck you hard over because you know they love that rock hip hop overseas.
Yeah, yeah.
So do you have you ever went back to Puerto Rico for a show?
Yes, man. I got to be in Puerto Rico last year with Nims and Fat Joe, man. The Rocksteady anniversary and Aguadilla. We hit that stage.
Ooh, okay, damn,
that was real.
Man, even to go, I thought it would just be like, just UFO FEV, but man, with I mean UFO FEV, man, but when you go with Fat Joe and Nems, wow, that must.
And Nems, man, for real, and Static Selector was DJing.
Ooh, yeah, that sound was A1.
Yeah, man, it was immaculate, man. It was a great time, for real.
So what's it like working with idols that you grew up listening to? Like I see you have songs with like Styles P, you have 2 songs with Fat Joe, man, and you work with Static Selector, Termanology. What's that feeling like working with people you grew up listening to?
I'm blessed, man. I'm just honored to be here. It's honored, it's a blessing that me and my team can stay focused and keep working. And this ain't overnight. We've been working a long time, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to continue to keep working with the legends, shout out to them. And the ones we got stuff with that ain't come out with yet. And the ones we going to continue to work with, It's a blessing, man. For real, it's really an honor.
Man, I bet my money that Hove heard your projects.
Oh, man, nah, you gotta stop, Lo. You gotta stop.
Nah, man, I'm gonna put some money on that, man, because you
gotta stop.
Hove be watching what his artists be doing, man. You can't, he's gotta be that man who's watches behind the scenes to be like.
I mean, word of mouth spreads, man. So hopefully the Ghost Albizu could just continue to spread in the way it do. We got another video coming soon, and continue to push it to a new level. That's all, man.
So my guy Ali Wilson, man, I don't know if you're watching, but you follow me, so I don't know if you tapped in, man. Yo, you gotta get, man, UFO FEV on some rap radar. Or give him like what you all did with Malcolm, and give him like a little title, like exclusively takes over title for good, 8 hours.
Come on, let's do that, man.
So I gotta ask now too. Coming like you released 3 projects in 2020. I remember back 2017. 2007. We would get 1 project from 1 artist. And that would be it. So, what can we expect from your... Because you're signed to Fat Joe. What can we expect from your Terror Squad debut?
Um, right now we just keep doing what we doing, man. We just gonna keep working. Everything is gonna keep flowing the way it's flowing. Joe is we fully independent right now. Right as of right now, we fully independent with Joe's support, 100%. It's the high enterprise. Everything is moving, and I'm hoping I could get Joe into the studio, and hopefully the project me and him plan gets into fruition. You know what I'm saying? But that's up to the greater powers that be. You know what I'm saying? I'm just hoping my man is able to come out back in the lab and I'm there with him and we get back to work and it be nothing but good music.
And shout out to Dre from Cool and Dre for making that connection happen
Shout out to
between the
Dre,
two.
yeah.
Man, that's a yo. You know what those guys produced? So like,
I spoke to all of them today, man. I spoke to Dre today. I spoke to Crack today. Those are my brothers, for real, for real. Like, um, outside of music, just having them answer my phone calls is a blessing, man. I'm honored, man, for real. God bless,
man,
thankful.
I wonder how like, did you know how cool? I mean, sorry, for Dre heard your music, like that is like
This is the
incredible.
Instagram, man. He found it on Instagram.
Instagram, what? Damn, yo, and that's a good look for it there, man.
Uh,
I was waiting.
Lord.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm waiting for that Cool and Dre UFO fab track. You know?
Yeah, it's gonna come. It's gonna come, man. Soon come.
I know
We
you
got
bring
a
that
lot of work to do,
grittiness.
man. We got a lot of work to do, low. A lot of territory to cover, man.
Yes, sir, man. Okay. So I won't take up most of your time, man, because I know you're a busy man with the visuals. I see you already working, man, again after the day of his release for
Yeah, I'm
stream.
executive producing this Red Inf project. We got Vanda Slice and Red Inf together. We finishing this joint up. And that's it, man. We just keep keeping it working, man. Keep dropping projects. And, I thank you for having me, Lo. It really means a lot to me, man. Thank you.
And I appreciate you sharing some of your timeless memories on this show. So